Good evening. It's Cindy Fodor here with Stamp the Love, and it's Make It Monday. I appreciate you joining me, and I hope that you'll pop on and say hello. Leave some comments. Let me know that if you're enjoying it. This is a recorded version because this is class week, typically class week. However, I am heading tomorrow to for the Disney trip, so I just want to say thank you. I couldn't have done it without the support of so many of you, of my team and my customers purchasing from me. And yeah, so I'm working on the next trip, which is to a cruise to Alaska. And it's my dream to take the kids along this time. We've never done that in all the 29 years I've been doing this. And but it's going a little slow, and I only have a little over a quarter of the time left. So yeah, tell your friends if you know anybody that needs to buy stamp products or would like to have a party. I would love to be able to do that and get you introduce your friends to stamping. All right. I also am offering a special class this month. So I'm going to show you those cards in a minute and explain that to you. I'm really excited about it. It's probably one of my favorite yet. It's a fun fold class. And so I will tell you about that in a second. Um, the projects that I'm going to show you tonight, that I'm going to show you how to do, there's four of them, of course, because it's a class month. Those four projects you can get for free you can do them at a class, and I have two classes left in next will be the 19th and 20th, so Chambersburg and my house. Um, and so you can come and stamp those for free with an order over $40 in person or $50 online. And of course, if it's online, I will send the projects to you. So you can enjoy them either way. Um, Again, I remind you in in my emails all the time, but um, I'm part of the Creative Stampers Collective. Still can't say that right. And we did a tutorial this month using the Notes and Totes bundle. And oh my goodness, the cute things that you will see. So when your order reaches $60 anytime this month online, you will get that bundle. Or not the bundle. You will get the bundle of projects. It's a whole PDF with videos and tutorials. So it's just going to be incredible. Um, I'm trying to think. I think that's it that I have to say. If not, maybe I'll remember something while I'm showing you the project. So let's pop on over and let me tell you about my class. Okay, I just wanted to introduce my Gallery Blooms class. I told you this is one of my favorite that I've ever done, and I did all of these with the same designer paper. And just to take a look at these and see how eclectic they look, so we go from masculine to feminine and really antique looking. So I am really proud of these cards, and you are going to get a tutorial on a little card holder so that you could give these away as a gift if you choose to, or a way to keep them yourself and keep them nice and organized. I don't have that to show you yet, but those that the supplies for that will come with these as well. Everything will be cut and scored for you except for some of your designer paper pieces that you'll need to cut with your pack of designer paper that comes with it. So let me just tell you real quickly what will be included in this class. You'll get a half a pack of the beautiful Gallery Designer Series paper, the 6x6. You will get the pressed flower motifs, the little gems, and we'll be using those today in our class as well. You will also get the basic beige ribbon, which we're using, and then any other ribbon that's used, you'll get enough to do your card for that. So 6 cards with envelopes. The class is $45. It's a steal. And you'll get a PDF and a video tutorial. Some of the projects I've done already in previous videos, so they'll be included in that. What I've used in this bundle is the beautiful Gallery suite of products. So, and I also use the Right Words paper or a stamp set for some of the greetings. Okay, so that I'm opening that now. As you're listening to this, if you didn't already get the email, that should be coming out soon. Just offering this class, so you can respond to the email or message me here. There are a limited supply, so don't hesitate. Don't wait too long, I should say. They will ship out by like May 24th. Okay. All right, let's get started with our projects today. Okay, this is our first card, and it's a popping, full of color. We've got Luscious Limeade, we've got some Azure Afternoon, we've got some Melon Mambo, and a bunch of new products that I want to introduce to you. So this one is using the new Fancy Borders dies and a little bit of the stamps. Wanted to show you those. And then the greeting is from this new set, With You in Mind. Look how big and beautiful these are. This is a $1 Million Achiever set. Julie Davison did this one. All right. And then the flower is from the new Impressions of Bloom, which, just to give you a little sneak peek, next month this is going to be our project for our Creative Stampers Collective. So really a lot of fun stuff there, and I have a couple cards to show you with that set. All right, let's get started. So our Azure Afternoon piece is just a card front, 5 1/4 by 4, and actually I don't want to start with that, sorry. I need to stamp these borders first, because you need to know where your borders are going before you know where to put your stamp, your greeting. That one's sticking, so I'm going to leave him there. And I'm just taking this. This is from the border set, and I just stamped these randomly on here just to add a little extra dimension, and then I can glue that. All right. Now I'm gonna go ahead and glue this down. Usually I don't glue things before I stamp them, but that gives me an idea. This one has a little bit of glue in it already, so I'm going to just tack that one in place so that I can see exactly where I need my stamp to go. Now, my only problem is this. Azure Afternoon, for some reason, I don't have a second pad, and I'm guessing that my first one is lost. I can't find it, so really weird. Like, did you ever have an ink pad walk off? And I have put away everything from Retreat except for some kits, and I have put away all my projects from last month, and of course I have my new projects out, but yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all. So fortunately I had an ink spot that was empty, and I was able to use the refill. And by the way, if you saw my last week's note and my email, the new ink color cloud cover, the pad is not going to be available. So when you add the cloud cover refill to any order between now and the 16th, you will get a free ink spot from me, so that you can make your own little ink spot like that. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and put some good adhesive on here. This was pulled off of something, and I'm not really sure why I did it, but anyways, it's still good, so I figured I might as well use it for my sample card. All right, before we put that on our card, we want to add some ribbon here, and I'm going to just do a faux knot. What I usually do is, like, I go about a ½ an inch past, and then I do a little bit for tying, so about 3 inches extra. And then you can do it on your finger. I usually do it on my finger, but we'll do it on here just so that it's a little bit easier for people to do it on some other object. Just tie it in a knot on something that will slide off. So this should be perfect because it's very cylindrical and perfectly round, and I'll be able to slide it off of there. So I'm tying it again so that it's in a complete knot. Now I can slide that off. And I'm just going to cut this little circular area, and then just stretch it out to make it how I want it. And I want this at the top. All right, see, I have plenty. I have almost an inch left on either side, so you wouldn't have to go quite 3 inches with that. Let me make sure that's even. This could come over just a hair. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put adhesive back on top of that. I always do that to add that extra support and stickiness so that it's going to stay. Of course, I'm using Seal Plus, so that's a good start right there. And then this is just going on top of our Luscious Lime. Why am I calling it? That was an old color. Lemon Lime Twist. And then to top that off, we're going to do our flower. And I'm doing that with my Stamparatus because you know how I am. I like to have these cut out ahead so everybody can stamp them themselves. And so I'm going to pop that in here if I can find the right way. And then we're going to use Melon Mambo for the flower, Lemon Lime Twist for the leaf. Get those babies stamped on there. And pop them out. I don't have my cleaner in here, so I will do that in a second. And we're going to pop that up with, oh, you know what? I want to use, I think I forgot to bring the little stamp here. Let me grab it out of here. I hope I didn't lose it. Oh, it's in here. Never mind. It's already on the block. It was hiding in the corner. I'm just adding this little center of the flower in Azure Afternoon. I know that's not a typical flower color, but isn't it fun? It just looks so cool. And then we'll pop a dimensional on here. Get our card back in here. Just sit that in there. And then I'm just going to put a dot of glue on maybe the back of this. And I'm just going to have that in there. Like that. And then our gems will be the crowning moment. These are so beautiful. Shades of green hexagons. Love, love, love them. So I'm going to use a couple different, you've got like a peacock color or, let me see if they have them on here. They don't put the colors on here anymore. Shaded spruce or pretty peacock. Just lots of different things that will coordinate. I'm going to use the greener and the more clear ones for my card. And we'll do a clear one down here. So 3. Isn't that pretty? All right, so finished with that one. Let's go to the next one. Another lost item I have is my Impressions of Bloom cards that I did like when I came back from convention. But anyways, I got these two in a swap. This one is so pretty, isn't it? And I think this one's from Julie Davison. And then this one where they stamped the flowers and then they embossed the background of that. And I guess I have their names inside. I apologize. Can't give you credit to whom credit is due. But anyways, I wanted to show you those since I can't find my other samples. So the next card is featuring the same Gallery Blooms that I talked about earlier for my specialty class. And I'm using the saying from the Beautiful Motifs, which these come in the same suite of products. And this is the card that we're going to do. And what I did, I can't remember. I saw this idea online and I was like, that is such a cool way to use that that die that cuts all of this. It's a frame in here. Let me show it to you real quick. I don't have these organized yet, but so it cuts this piece, and this piece. So there we go. We're going to use all 3 of those. And I have them here. This is all one piece of paper, and and I cut it with that die, and then it ran them all three through the Damask embossing folder. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to put this on our card, and it's embossed the wrong direction. All right, well, that, my friends, is just how it is when you have helpers doing things. It's okay. It's maybe not gonna nobody's gonna notice it but me, hopefully. But I imagine that means they're all this direction. All right, so I'm gonna glue this first piece down so that I can just get it centered on my card, like so. And then the next piece is going to get popped up with dimensionals. So let's do that next, and then we'll pop the middle one down inside. Dimensionals fit just about perfectly on here. You do have to turn them so that they have straight edges going to the edge. That way it doesn't show. Did you ever realize that about dimensionals? I'm sure you did. That there's a straight edge and there's a pointed edge. Pointed side, I should say. So I did 3, 6, 7, 8. Getting these off are the fun part, right? My friend Lisa does it like this, and she makes it look so easy, but I'll tell you, it doesn't feel that easy for me. It wasn't too bad. All right, make sure this is going the same direction. And I want to get it lined up in that edge. And then this piece will be glued down flat as well, but I wanted to make sure that I got it in the right spot, so pop that in there. Isn't that cool how that just gives you, just that popped up center gives you that different look. All right, now let's go ahead and stamp the rest of our card and get it ready. We're going to stamp this beautiful flower image on vanilla. So the card base and everything is basic beige. And I wanted this to stand out a little bit more, so I did this in vanilla. I tried it in different things, and I ended up liking the vanilla best. Hopefully I have that lined up in there. See how we did. Missed this area, so let me see if I can pop that back in there. I didn't press good enough. You can see it's still on the... There we go. All right, now I do need that ink pad for one more thing. We're going to stamp our Thinking of You on there. This is a little bit bent from running it through the machine. There we go. That looks pretty good. All right, so now we have a few extra pieces from this die set. These little grassy things. So we're going to pop this up on here. I'm going to put dimensionals under the flowers that are popped up here. So let's go ahead and... I have to look at them again. Okay, the middle of this one, the bottom of this one. Whoops, I just flung one of those. And then I'm going to put some glue just right here so that it holds my flower in place up there. Like so. And I probably could have went up just a little higher. I'm not sure what smeared there because it must have just smeared when I placed it back in the Stamparatus. Where do I want this one? Let's put this one down first. And these you don't need a lot of glue on. They will stick easily from paper to paper, sticks really well. And I'm just going to pop that on there. Get this guy back down here. This has little slices through it for texture and dimension, so it's a little tricky putting liquid glue on that one. And I really want this one to show, so I'm going to just sort of scoot it over here to the side. I could maybe put a baby dimension onto there and hope that it doesn't show. Let me get my Take Your Pick tool here and see if I can. I'm trying to peel this off and get this to stick to my Take Your Pick tool and not me. Okay. I want to just tack that right under there. There we go. Get that to pop up a little bit. And then let's get a little adhesive on this one. Cover my gooey mess there in the center. And I need some extra glue down here. There we go. And then we have our gorgeous ribbon, which I don't seem to have in here. So you're just going to have to imagine how pretty that bow looks on there. And I will go grab it before I forget to take it to class tonight. Because I'm putting this down here, I'm not popping it up because I don't think you need any more dimension on the card. So I want to glue that down good. And then we're going to add our gems. These are the pressed flower motifs that I told you earlier come with that, with those projects that I'm doing this month. And I think I just stuck one here. You could possibly add another if you want somewhere, but anyways, there we go. I'll show you this one so it has the ribbon on it. Very, very quick and easy, right? All right, that's 2 down. Okay, our next card is a choice of cards. I'm highlighting the paper again from Gallery Blooms. This is one of those. And I'm also using as backgrounds the retiring DSP, the Neutrals DSP. So, yeah, what I did was I started with this piece and I was able to cut it because I'm using that same frame that I just showed you. And I'm using the middle piece. I was able to cut this at 2 inches and I can get 3 cards out of this one. Now this card, that was for this one. This one here, the ships were a little bit different, the sailboats in here. So I was only able to get 2 pieces of this that I liked from one sheet. I mean, you could use the others. I just wanted the boats in each one. So I was able to cut 2 different pieces out of that. So I left these whole because you sort of have to take your window and see what part you want. And you can see here that I chose like that area. I want to show a different one in here. So I'm going to take this piece. Let me just scoot those aside. And I'm going to choose the area that I want to highlight on here. And then what I'm going to do is just go ahead and put my adhesive around the edge. I don't know why I'm not using my fine tip, because I'm telling you this, I'm used to using fine tip, and when I go to use this one, it's very different. I sort of like this this little pattern down here on the grass, so maybe we'll get a little bit of that as well. Got a little too much glue in there. And then I can just go ahead and cut this top edge off. I'm going to try to cut it back under a little bit so that it doesn't show. All right, so there you go. We created that piece. The little piece that's left over, and I probably grabbed the wrong color. Yeah, let me get the right color here. I wasn't thinking when I grabbed this piece that I probably want to match my front piece. And you know how I love to use the pieces that you take off of there so you don't waste them. So let's go ahead and start putting this together. So this is Pretty Peacock because there's some colors in here that either are Lost Lagoon, Pretty Peacock. I could have gone with some Mossy Meadow. There's some other options you could have used, but I wanted something a little brighter since I was using these neutral colors as my background. Wow, where did that come from? I don't think I need that for this card. All right, so I'm going to pop that on there. And then I need to put dimensionals on this. So we're using a lot of dimensionals this month. Should say they're on sale, but I did purchase a few before retreat to make sure I had enough on hand if people need it or whatever. So I've got a nice stash. Oh, plus I also put them in their packets, and so I ended up with a few sheets. So yeah, we'll just pop these babies up, and I definitely like to have enough on here. I can't just put 4 in the corner because it's worthless. It's totally not worth the time. You might as well just put it flat on your card because it's not gonna stay that way. And then they're still sticking to me. I'll get that in the center, I hope. I'm gonna go by the lines here and try to get that straight. And then I just want to stamp my greeting. This comes from The Right Words, and it barely fits on here, as you can see. Yeah, I didn't do too great there. Maybe I'll try another time. I was trying to get that up there high enough. There we go. I like that a little bit better. It's nice paper, has 2 sides, isn't it? And I might just trim a little bit of this off before I do my tail. Try not to smear that till it dries. Should have grabbed a punch, ain't? All right, and back to more dimensionals. I didn't pay attention to where I was putting that, but I need one here and then one in here, so hopefully I have that out there far enough. I don't like how jaggedy I got this tag in here. Let's see if I can trim that up a little bit. Don't want to hide too much of my design, so I wanted to keep the tag pretty small. And then let's go ahead and finish the front. I'm using the holographic resin dots. Are these not gorgeous and yummy? Look at that. And pop 2 of those babies on here. There's actually 3 sizes, and I think I'm going to stay with the medium and the small. These resin dots never want to come off with that take your pick tool for some reason, so I'll have to use the other tip. I should say they don't want to come off with the putty. All right, put that on the right end, Cindy. Okay, now let's just go ahead. I'm just using a piece of printer paper in the color of vanilla for my inside. Just because I have this cool strip to use, we'll pop that on there. I got some adhesive around outside of that. This is pretty thin paper. I don't love the fact that it's this thin, but it definitely is a nice lightweight addition to a card, especially if you have a lot of layers and fun folds and stuff like that. It doesn't add to the weight of your card. So there we go. Not a lot of stamping on that one, but how nice and masculine are those? Just really fun. All right, off to the next one. Okay, this is our final card, and we're doing a bit of a fun cut here on this one. This one features the Scenic Adventure bundle, and I did show you a card earlier, probably a couple weeks ago. I showed this card here. So this features a lot of things in it, stamps, dies, etc. And then I got this one in a swap, and it features some background paper, lots of dies, really bright and cheery die card. And then we're going to do this one, and this is some paper that I found in the Toadstool paper from Celebration. So it's retired, but it's pretty cool, and I thought it will go nice. It's hard to find a pattern that will be quiet enough for lake trees and things like that. So yeah, so what I did for this was I measured over 1.5 inches and made a mark, and then I cut from that mark down to the corner of my regular piece of cardstock. I have it scored at 4.25 here. So when I fold that over, it will look like, let me put this here so you can see, it'll look like that. Okay, let me go ahead and pop this in the inside. This is gray granite because it went nicely with the paper. And it's done with the wood grain embossing for, I forget what it's called. Is it the plank maybe? I don't think it's plank. No, I obviously didn't put enough glue on that because it's very, very bumpy. Let's get some more adhesive across there. I don't like when embossed pieces raise up. So let's get some more. I should know better, right? There we go. Okay. Now we've got our inside finished. All right, so what I did with this, I cut this at 4 by 5.25, so 1/4 inch down, if you see here. Then I did the same thing with this. I measured over 1.5 inches, and I sliced down to the corner as well. And I'm seeing a, do I have an eraser here? It's probably down in my thing. Here it is. I see some pencil mark here that I left. All right, so I'm going to just go ahead and glue that in. See the toadstools on the other side? I'm not sure. This paper didn't really seem to fit. I mean, obviously woodland or whatever, but it didn't fit with the other designs in the paper of the toadstools, so I didn't use it. And so I had a lot of it, but I didn't have quite enough. So fortunately, my friend Barbara loaned me a couple pieces, or gave me a couple pieces. Okay, so now for this piece. All right, we have this piece and we don't have a nice border around. So I showed this pattern before. I know, I hope you aren't sick of it, but I think it's just a fun and easy thing to do. So just scoot it up so that you have a nice amount showing there. And then you could put this in your cutter, or you can just take your scissors and trim right along that edge without cutting into the cardstock. I just need to scoot my hand up a little bit. All right, now we should be able to just pull this back down. I'm gonna go ahead and put my adhesive on here. See if I can use some liquid glue. Of course it's gonna be, see, I didn't use that one. So I didn't use this one either, but maybe it's ready to go because it was upside down. There we go. It helps when they're stored upside down. The same as your cottage cheese. Did you know that? If you've ever opened a thing of like not brand new cottage cheese and noticed like color on top where things are growing, I heard this before, that if you turn it upside down, there's no air at the top. And of course it's sealed up to the bottom, so it really extends the life of your cottage cheese. So just so as keep these stored upside down. All right, so there we go. We got to cut this piece off. So I'm going to go ahead and just hold that in place and give this a little trim. And then we're ready to put that in place. Isn't that fun? It's a little different look. Didn't want to go up there so far. I think that's probably way too far. Let's see how this looks. Perfect. Okay. And then I have my tree cut out, and I need a few little things cut out of here. And we're just going to add some liquid glue there. Again, paper on paper goes really well with very little glue. And I do want to tuck that just down inside here so that the trees are straight, but look like they're coming up behind that little mountain. Let me get this last little cantankerous piece out of there. All right, and then I just added a saying, and did I get that out yet? Nope. Yes, I did, but it's, oh, there it is, still in my thing. Okay. So this little piece is separate. It says, let the begin. So you could do journey or adventure. And so I'm doing journey because I'm not sure what I'm using this card for yet. So I'm going to stamp the let the first. And then inside of that, I'm going to stamp my journey. If I can see it, this block was a practice block for my son learning how to engrave on these. So I should pitch it. It's not like I don't have enough of those. All right, so let the journey begin. And then I did use our Neutrals Adhesive Back Sequins for here because I'm using a copper cord. And so I wanted to use the copper gems with this. And I'm not sure why I only have one on there. I think I might have lost one. I think I remember finding one somewhere. Let's go ahead. Oops, that was a big one. There we go. And then just a little bow here. It's okay to do guy bows, isn't it? Bows for guys. I don't know. This card needed a bow. And so, yeah. I don't think most of the people that I send to are going to be offended, especially if they know who I am. And I'm a card maker, right? Okay. Where's my end here? I want to pop this in my thing so I remember to take those tonight. I'm just going to roll this down so that it's not, because it's a really big glue dot for a mini glue dot. Just roll that up behind so that it doesn't show. And then we're just going to pop that right here on the incline. And voila. All done. Isn't that cool? All right, so I hope you enjoyed these projects. I'll be back next week, hopefully. If I get back, I leave tomorrow morning for Disney. And so if I get home Sunday. So I will try to be live Monday, but I really, at this point, can't make any promises. But I love meeting with you, and you keep me creative. So hopefully you'll see me on Monday. All right, thanks. Have a great week. God bless.